My name is Chris Martenson. I have a huge story to tell and precious little time in which to do so. So let me cut to the chase. Our country's financial and economic troubles are about to get a lot worse, and it is important that you understand why so that you can begin to prepare. So let's begin. Like millions of others, you already know that something is just not right. Perhaps it's a whole collection of somethings. Money is being printed at rates never before seen in world history, and yet the economy isn't responding. We are drilling feverishly to coax oil out of tighter, deeper rock formations than in the past, and yet oil prices remain stubbornly high. The world's bee population is dying off quickly, as are an increasing number of ocean fisheries. Aquifers that take thousands of years to recharge are being rapidly depleted, and the cities and vast agricultural areas that depend upon them will not be able to continue as they are. Simply put, massive change is upon us. This accelerated crash course weaves together the economy, energy, and the environment because it's where these fields overlap and intersect that the greatest story of any generation will get told. When I released the original version back in 2008, it gained immediate popularity because many of the developments it warned of happened soon after. The global economy lurched to a halt, threatening another Great Depression, only this time on a global scale. Oil prices nearly hit $150 a barrel. A soaring cost of living led to revolutions across North Africa and the Middle East. Along the way, the Fukushima and the Deepwater Horizon crises exposed the fragility of our energy systems. And here in 2014, we are still grappling with the repercussions of these issues, and the root causes remain sadly underaddressed. But intelligent, independent-minded people like you are waking up around the world to the big picture told by this story. By the conclusion of this presentation, you will understand and be thinking about the world in a whole new way. You will see both new risks and new opportunities. I must warn you, this material will not be easy for some of you. And I know this from watching the reactions of tens of thousands of audience members I have presented it to over the years. We'll be talking about some very large changes which are, admittedly, hard to get one's mind around. Emotional reactions ranging from denial to anger to anxiety are all par for the course. So if you find yourself experiencing any of these emotions while you watch this series, it's okay. Everybody does. But let me be clear, the purpose of the crash course is not to scare you. Our position is simply this. We want to enable everyone to become more secure and to live a richer and more prosperous life. To do this, I'm going to try and expand your viewpoint. I might even challenge some of your most closely held beliefs. And I'm going to try to convince you that there's little time remaining for you to educate yourself, start planning, and take action. Again, the purpose of the crash course is to inspire you to make the informed decisions and the positive choices that could make a huge difference to your current happiness and future security. I say this having taken all of these steps in my own life, as well as helping many others do the same. The days of waiting are over. You are here watching this because you already know that something has shifted, that something is not right, and that there's a new future in front of us, and that it's time to get busy. So, let's begin. So what do I mean when I say massive change is upon us? Well, here's where we need to burrow into the 3 E's, which is where we'll spend the rest of our time in the crash course. The first E is the economy, which is the lens through which the crash course looks at everything. We care about the economy because everything we wish to see happen technologically, all of our jobs and hopes and dreams depend upon a functioning economy. With a functioning economy, we can readily meet whatever challenges may come. Without one, well, much less is possible, and we are all less resilient. Within the economy, there are 4 primary areas of concern: exponential money, the first ever collapse of a global credit binge, an aging population, and a national failure to save. If it isn't clear to you what each of these mean, don't worry, we'll be discussing them in detail later on. The next E is energy, and there we will discuss what peak cheap oil means for our economic system. It's very important to understand just how overdependent the global economy is to abundant and inexpensive supplies of energy. In fact, this topic is so important that I should dedicate the entire crash course to it, but we don't have time. And finally, the third E, the environment, will be exerting its own significant economic burdens due to diminishing resources. Resource scarcity reduces what we can take from the natural world to fuel our lifestyles, and environmental collapse thresholds place increasingly obvious limits on the waste streams we can put back into it. The story that I'm going to weave for you cuts across all three E's and will make the claim that our very economic system is badly out of step with reality and will suffer severe instability and possibly collapse as a result. It is fair to say that this particular constellation of issues, problems if you will, or even predicaments, has never been faced before at these levels. Not in your country's history, not even in human history, at least not on such a global scale. Whether you find this terrifying or exhilarating is simply a matter of your mindset. You can see this as a doomsday scenario or as a once-in-a-lifetime call to action to make the world a better place for our generation and those that will follow. The choice is up to you. But the key to making the best choice is being armed with accurate and detailed information. Context is everything. This is what the crash course will deliver. When viewed individually, each one of the sub-areas on each of the three E's could entirely consume your entire attention. I'm going to make the claim that these problems are so intertwined that they cannot be solved in isolation. Instead, all three E's need to be considered at the same time because the same underlying pressure connects them all by a very powerful law of mathematics that we need to understand a lot better.